is Diane Mourglia-Swerdlow with another edition of HealthyLivingForExpansions.com. Today we are going to make everybody's favorites, jalapeno poppers. And I'm going to show you how to do it, so it will be a little bit lower carb count, it will be very good, and it's very nutritious. So we're going to start with our jalapeno peppers. I've already got some of them opened up here and put on my tray because we're going to broil them so the skins will peel off, which will make the coating stick to it a little bit easier. I want to show you how you do that. Now, if you're sensitive and you get this on your skin or in your eyes, it could make it burn. And you want to remember that the hottest part is inside your pepper. That's called the pith. If you like it hot, you can actually leave this in here if you want. Now, I usually take it out because I like to have more of the cheese stuffing in. Again, what you can do is you can cut that up and put it in your cheese stuffing if you want. And then you're just going to leave them attached and just put it here on your tray. And then you're going to set your oven to broil. You're going to put it on the highest. This one didn't get done. How about that? I thought I had them all done. Let's just finish that one up too. There we go. Anyway, you're going to put it on broil for about 8 minutes. And that's going to give the skin on the back a chance to curl up. We're going to pop that off like we have done with red peppers before. And that will leave the outer skin, which is going to be very moist, and again it will hold your crumbs to make it really nice. So, top shelf for about 8 minutes. So let me set the timer. Oops, leave it open, of course, because we're broiling. And then we're going to work on the filling. While the jalapenos are in the oven broiling, we're going to go ahead and get our filling going. This is 8 ounces of organic cream cheese. And then I'm going to take a cup, this is mixed goat cheese, any hard cheese will do, of cheddar and mozzarella. And you want to remember that most orange cheeses actually have dye in them. So when you see orange, you know, if you can, it's better to get white unless you know what the dye is made from. And I'm also going to put in a half a cup of minced onion. I've chopped this up pretty finely, and I want to put in about a tablespoon of oil here in my frying pan. I'm going to just kind of cook that up a little bit so it's easier to mix in, not quite so strong. And I have 3 or 4 cloves of garlic in here I've also minced up. So that's going to go in here. And I'm just going to run that around for a couple of minutes in my frying pan. And of course the oil will also help the cheeses to kind of blend together too. So while that's heating, I'm also going to put in a 1/4 cup of grated pecorino romano, which is a sheep's cheese, and a half a cup of organic cilantro. And you want to remember that that helps to take out heavy metals out of your system. That's going to go in there. I'm going to put in about a half a teaspoon of pepper and about a half a teaspoon of salt. Good quality sea salt. Fleur de Sel is the brand that I like. Okay, so let's see what's happening to our onions and garlic. I'm going to get them so they're a little bit translucent. And this is going to be our filling. There we go. Pan's getting hot. Let me see. Start mixing this a little bit around. That cream cheese is still a little bit hard, so let's wait for this, for the heat. That will help it. And of course, if you bring your cream cheese to room temperature, that will help as well. And of course, you can also put it in a Cuisinart or a blender, whatever works for you. I'm just going to do this by hand. Sometimes by the time you clean things up, it's easier just to do it by hand, or depending upon your mood. So, here we go. Okay, everything is about where I want it to be. Not quite translucent, but almost. So turn off the burner. Let's this in here. Set that aside, and by the time we're done, the jalapenos are probably going to be very close to being where we want their skin to easily be peelable. You can also put in parsley, you can do basil. Again, you know, mix and match, kind of think about what would work for you, what kind of ingredients you can get. And that's what you want to use. Make life easy for yourself and don't go buy all kinds of brand new things for your kitchen just for one recipe unless you think you're going to use it again. So that's coming together now very nicely. And the jalapenos have got about a minute more to go. Okay, that's going to make a nice stuffing. While we're waiting for the jalapenos, I want to show you the coating I'm going to use. Again, you can kind of use your imagination. I've got I have a quarter of a cup of granulated organic white onion, which I have in here, and I have a quarter cup of gluten-free breadcrumbs. And I'm just going to mix these together for my breading. Let me grab a spoon. And that will help to keep our carb count down. And that should be more than enough for what we have in the oven. Let's pull out those jalapenos and see what they look like. Oh, great. You can see how they're nice and brown at the top. Turn that all off. I'm going to let them cool for maybe about 5 minutes or so, and then I'm going to show you how to peel off the skin here from the back. But it'll come off very easily. And then what is left is going to be moist, and that will help our crumbs to stick. Now you can also, depending on what you like, you can dip them in milk to make the crumbs stick. You can also dip them in egg. And for me it's always a little bit messier, so I prefer to do it this way because I just don't want to deal with a mess. So let's let them sit here for about 5 minutes and then we'll come back and we'll peel the skin away. I started peeling the paper off, and really what happens is it's like blistering the skin. So you're just going to peel that off. And it's kind of sticky, as you can see. The cooler, the better. So if you have time, like if you know you're going to make these one day, if you can take this, broil them even the day before, then they're nice and cool, and it is easier to take the, I call it the paper, but it's, you know, it's really the skin. If you take that off, that's good. It just blisters it up, just like what we did with the red peppers, you'll remember. So when you've got that off, it makes, again, the skin moist, so that the crumbs are going to stick easier. And also it's kind of semi-cooked this way, so when you do cook it, it's, in my opinion, it makes it a little bit better dish than if you're just biting into a raw jalapeno, but that's up to you. And it's hard to deep fry them at home the same way in a restaurant because you just can't get your oil or your grease, whatever you use, your fat, up to the same temperatures that they can in a restaurant. So to me this is a good substitute and healthier. So I have it off. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my filling, which we've already taken a look at, put that in the middle, squish it together, and I've mixed this up. This is going to go in all the way around. And you see how nicely that sticks? No egg, no milk, no muss, no fuss. And I've got my oil heating. I'm just going to put this in here and start that frying. And while that's happening, we'll just do another one. And you can get the idea. There's no, like I said, it's kind of a fun thing to do. They're tasty. Most people like them. You can do all of this prep in advance and then take them out to room temperature if you're going to have company or your dinner or just want to have a little snack. And put them in and fry them up. It's going to take a couple of seconds. But like I said, you just can't get your oil hot enough at home like they do in a restaurant, and that's why sometimes it's a challenge to replicate the food that you have out with what you have at home. Let's see how that's looking. Put a little bit more crumbs on there. And the hotter the better, as far as the oil. I'll turn mine up just a little bit and see. If you want it crunchier, put a second coat on and keep turning it. See what that side looks like. Oh yeah, that looks nice. Oh, beautiful. Okay. And then, as soon as they're done, I like to eat them on a nice and hot. So you just put on the plate, but you can see the cheese is nicely melted, and it's really a beautiful little appetizer dish. Or you can serve that as a vegetable with your regular dinner, so it's really wonderful food. So anyway, I want to thank you for joining me, Diane Mourglia-Swerdlow, for another edition of HealthyLivingExpansions.com.